Och så snabbt går det att ta sig från Malmö till Köpenhamn. Men vi ska faktiskt vidare utanför Roskilde. Vi ska kolla på Danmarks smartaste hem. Eller kanske till och med Skandinaviens smartaste hem. Eller Nordens smartaste hem. Eller, vi vet i alla fall att det är världens smartaste danska hem. Nu sitter jag i bilen här med Torben Vonsen. Yeah. Did I say that right?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
I was thinking about speaking our native languages,
yes.
but then I don't understand a word of Danish.
That's usually the problem.
But you understand
I understand Swedish, yes.
Yeah. So it's always the Swedes who is the problem?
Yeah, or it's the Danish language.
So you are editor-in-chief for Input?
Yes.
Is that also the platform where you have built the house, or is that a
It's like no, it is within Input, Reggie. So it is about because it's the same things that we work on. So it's the gadgets and the stuff and the home automation and stuff like that, which is what we always working on our magazine, like you guys as well.
Exactly.
But then we had the idea because actually this all came from the reason the problem that we had, that we didn't have any place to stay. So Input, we became homeless, and then we were like, should we just rent another office space? And we thought, because when we test things, it's always in a home setting. You want to test it in a home setting. And we started talking, how about we actually find somewhere that's more like just an apartment? Because then we can test things in a real setting and just furnish it like a regular house with one office and then, living room and stuff. And then we took that one step further, and I wrote Aerodan building company on Facebook, and they were like, "Yeah, let's meet." That took like that, and then it kind of snowballed from there. This is one big experiment.
All right.
We've been having so much trouble, getting the Wi-Fi to work because we had 165 different IP addresses from stuff that was online at one point.
Snowballing in north of Sweden, it's like actually snow.
And here, okay. I thought you were going to say something perverted. Yeah. Like,
oh no,
it's a sex thing.
This is like a serious YouTube channel. So we don't use the sex thing in this channel.
That's very Swedish, isn't it?
It's very Swedish. So snowballing in Denmark though ends up with a house, a smart house.
The Audi e-tron is also part of the of the whole experience of the house, basically. So we're trying to look into something like the smart grid as well, because everybody right now is getting to a point where they're considering buying electric cars, and how that influenced the whole power grid. Because in Denmark, I don't know how it is in Sweden, but in Denmark, it's pretty bad. On the roof is a solar panel, 40 square meters. We have the car, which is obviously connected to a charger over there. And it also connects to, basically what we do is we drain the power also from a battery, which is in the closet over there. So the sunroof gives power to the battery, gives power to the car, or the house. So in the future, probably the car will also be a part of the network, so that the car will be able to deliver power to the house. This thing in here is a bit boring in some ways, but it's very important for if you're doing a new house at least, or even in old houses as well, because there's a lot of calcium in the water in Denmark. So this removes the calcium from the water, and the thing is, this actually makes like all the white goods, all the dishwasher, the washing machine, everything should actually have double lifetime because of this. And you won't get nearly as many problems with the piping and the water and everything, and you don't need to clean as much. Where you take the shower, there's no stains on the side of in the wash in the sinks and everything. So it's actually quite a cool thing, this one. So out in the hallway we have this is the main door, and we have a Yale smart lock. And this can actually do quite a lot of things. It works with both, obviously a key, like a small brick that you put next to the door, and you have a keypad, and you can use your phone as well. So obviously we have a security system here. It's the basis of it is G4S, so it's the same as like a standard security system. But then we upped the whole thing by putting in a camera at the door. So once you press the button to ring the doorbell, we get a notification on every single screen in the whole house. And also, of course, if you're outside, you get it on your phone. And turn off the alarm. So if you have someone bringing in packages or something like that, you can just basically open for them, have them put the package inside, go outside and close the door again. It's not home of the distant future, it's home of the very close future. So most of the products that we have here are actually products that you can have installed. So this is the Nico system, and Nico Home Control is a system that it's basically it's an online system, but it's also a local system that's in a hub out by the router. And that hub is connected to everything in the house, more or less. This is the home control, the big screen, where we can do stuff like we can push a button like cleaning, and then all the lights in all the rooms turn on, and the radio turns on in every single room, and you can choose leave home, and you can choose all kinds of settings, and it'll change the whole house setting to that specific mood or setting. And the good thing about Nico is that you can integrate just about anything. If it has a motor in it, they can do it. Like all the small switches everywhere is Nico, and you can buy those and just install them and they'll work. Bigger stuff, it needs to be installed professionally. So in here we have the it's a teenager room, and we have it in mind for a teenage boy or girl who likes to game. We have the MSI computer and the big Samsung screen here. It's a really powerful setup, so you can play just about anything you want on this thing. If you want your kid to move about a bit, play with this. You can use your tablet or your phone as well, and just hold the phone or the tablet up to it, and it'll show you like ghosts coming out or people walking around or stuff like that. There's a whole series of Legos that can actually do that. So it's a really cool way to play. Augmented reality hasn't really taken off yet, but for something like this, it actually makes really a lot of sense. And also we have a robot in the next room, also from Lego, that you can program. So people, like kids, learn programming skills from just playing with this stuff. So out in the bathroom, obviously there's a toilet. It opens when you walk in, so it has a sensor built in so that you don't have to touch anything. There are a few people who are not interested in touching things. When you're sitting there, it'll actually sense that you're on there, so it won't spray water unless there's someone sitting there. But it can clean you after you're done doing whatever you need to do. And it can also dry you, and you can do everything. You can control it from your phone. There's a bit of light underneath the toilet as well, which will help during the night. We have a system here where there's sensors in here. So when you walk into the room, if it's later than 11 o'clock at night, the light will only turn on to about 3%. And that's actually just hue, but then the light from down there will help as well. Everything is controllable here by the remote if you don't have your phone with you. Obviously, you want some privacy in the restroom, but there's no curtains here. Instead, we've installed this thing. This looks like a completely normal bed, but what it does have is, obviously it's got elevation, it's an Alpine bed, but there's building something called Alpine Connect as well. And the idea is that the bed connects to your phone, so you can use it to elevate the bed if you want to. But also, and this is probably more interesting, it has an anti-snoring function. So if you're the kind of guy who snores, it'll actually listen for the snoring. It'll use your phone. It'll listen for snoring, and if you snore, it'll just move the headrest just a little bit, and usually that stops the snoring. If it doesn't stop, it'll wriggle a little bit more, and it's basically is a digital version of that. Do you snore?
I do.
Yes, I would have thought so. I do as well sometimes. So in the kitchen we have all the white goods are also Samsung. So like the oven here, it looks like a regular oven, but it's actually a 2-piece oven. So you can have one temperature here and one temperature here. You have steam here and nothing there or whatever. And the oven obviously talks to everything else because it's on Wi-Fi, and so is the dishwasher, and so is the fridge, and so is everything. So if you heat the oven, when the right temperature is actually achieved, it'll show up on your devices. So your TV will tell you, the oven is ready to put something in there. If we look at the fridge, which is right next to it, it's the smart hub. And this gives us a whole range of opportunities. Obviously, you can watch TV here. You can pull, if you're watching something in the other room, you can basically just pull it in onto this screen as well. There's view inside, which is, so we drink a lot of alcohol. It's very Danish, but so we only got champagne on here, basically. No, but the idea is that you can look inside. You can see and this you can obviously, is online, so you can look at that if you're standing in the grocery store. So if you want to look at that and then say, do I need milk? And you look inside, you go, well, no, I need milk because I don't have any milk, so you can buy it. In the future, the fridge will probably be able to recognize milk by itself, but we're not quite there yet. But if it could recognize milk by itself, it'll put it on this list, which is what is inside. But right now, you have to scan it, take the picture, and put it in. But with time, the fridge will be able to know what's inside it by itself, and basically also order stuff. So if you're out of milk, the fridge, or almost out of milk, or the milk is getting old, the fridge will order milk by itself. Via Samsung Smart Things, you can control just about all kinds of things. So there's all the bulbs, all the lighting from Philips Hue. This can also be controlled from the fridge. So the cooktop is when you turn this thing on and put something on, you have to put something on as well. And so basically start cooking. And that thing up there will turn on. Basically, the problem with new houses is that they're really, really airtight to keep in heat. So if you turn on the suction thing, you'll probably not be able to open the doors basically because there's low pressure in here. So you can open so when you do this, one of the windows in the living room will also open and let in air. So everything is like coordinated in that way. It's a really cool cooktop as well, and it's magnetic, so you can put it on there. So it's quite nice. So as I said before, when we walked into the house, Nico can integrate just about anything that you want. So in here we actually have, this looks like a regular light switch, but it's actually not for the light. You can make it for the light if you want to, but right now it's configured to use the curtains. So when I push this, the curtains goes down. When I push the top one, the curtains go up. Obviously, you can do that from an app as well. You can do it from the Nico app if you want to. These are for the light. There are 4 different on here. So there are 4 different settings for the light in the room. So I can change it like all kinds of things. So this is a new version of the cooker. And what you can do is, this is sparkling water right now. And you can also do, obviously, regular cold water. You need this tap and hot water for that. And then you can do boiling water as well. So you can, when it turns red, this would actually be boiling water that comes out. So this is the mural from Netgear. And the idea here is basically is a picture frame. But if you remember the horrible picture frames from the early 2000s, which were like really bad quality and low resolution, and you have pictures of your stupid dog or whatever. This is more the artsy kind of thing. So you can basically buy a subscription for loads and loads of artwork, and there's new things added all the time. And you can change it on your phone. You can do it on here. Okay, Google, tænd lys i stuen. There's a nice red light to it right now. Okay, Google, gør lys i stuen hvidt. So everything, of course, is controllable by Google. Well, almost everything. There's a few of the products in the home that hasn't really yet been integrated into Google Home, but it's actually quite a few of the products here. So all the sound, all the lights, the security, everything is basically in Google now. So you can control everything by voice, and that, of course, will be a bigger trend going forward, that everything will be controllable by voice. And you can choose Google, or you can choose Alexa, and it basically doesn't make any difference. So that's it, I guess. There's a few more details around the house that are really cool, but then you should come see it. What we're doing here is we're trying to make things work together, and that's the interesting bit about this house. So we've taken all the products that are right now on the market and stuffed them in here, and are now trying to get them to work. And while we're doing it, we're doing articles and we're doing videos like you guys and stuff to show people that it's not. And it's actually not that difficult. You can go and buy these things and set them up yourself in about, like, most of them in half an hour or 20 minutes. So it's not as difficult as it may look if you don't know anything about it. But it's the future is already here, basically.
What you're doing to me now.